Hello, IK here. Welcome to Authentication and Authorization Part 2. Concretely, this video is about login.js. Login is when we push button login, we have form, email, and password. And we must enter email and password. Let's see that pages. Login.js, okay, from begin. Import React, use state is local manager state. Local manager state, we need it. React is library of React from here. And use dispatch, we need to dispatch action from login. Login, there is a form, and from every form, we dispatch action. When we put on button, action is dispatch action credentials, email and the password. We must dispatch to store, a Redux store. Use dispatch. Coming from React Redux package, name said what is it? React Redux. It means that use dispatch have connection with React and Redux. React Redux together is front end, communicate with the backend Express. The front end React and Redux. React is user interface. Redux is global manager, global state manager. Here in this component, we have local state manager and global state manager. And this sites with form is very interesting to look at how communicate user state and Redux. Redux. Okay, we will see it now here. Use dispatch is from React Redux package. Login user is from our login slice. It is reducer. It is part of Redux store. Login slice is reducer. Okay, reducer, there is a two input, state and action, and one output, state. And that action, we spoke about that action, use dispatch, will dispatch, our function dispatch, will dispatch action to whom? To reducer. To reducer, concretely login slice reducer, will receive that action. And reducer is inside of store, Redux store. Okay, we can see that it is, here it is store. Look at, here it is. All this is states, and here is the last one is login reducer. Login reducer reducer is a function with two input and one output. And reducer take care about immutable way, mutate, change state by immutable way. Thanks to library, what is invisible for us, thanks to name is Eimer library. Okay, it is, you see login reducer coming from login slice, All about login, I put in components folder, it is good for orientation. Like all about articles, put in articles folder. all about department, put in article in folder department, etc. Back to login.js. Login.js is here. Use navigate is also function, hook function. And by that, use navigate, we will have function navigate. We can, after some code, after something happen, after some logic, we can redirect users to concretely page, to concretely address. Use navigate hook. Here we use state hook, use dispatch hook, use navigate. Three hooks we use here in use state is a local manager, for local state manager. Use navigate is for redirection to concretely some address. And use dispatch is dispatch action from React to Redux to store. Because of that, use dispatch is from React Redux package. Use dispatch dispatch action from React to Redux store, concretely Redux store reducer. Okay, it is all about import. Now we have our declaration of our component login. It is this is declaration of variable login, declaration of object login, declaration of component login, and login, object login here equal arrow function, and all this down, it is a component login. Component. Okay, in curly brackets, we have all code about login. You see, think border around curly brackets. Now we can find the pair of that. It is open curly brackets. Now I will find close, and by that I see all code inside curly brackets. It is code of component login. It is inside of curly brackets. It's a body of arrow function. Login equal arrow function. Okay, down, down, down. Look at around this yellow curly brackets, we have thin border. It is closed curly brackets. And all inside, between them, open and closed curly brackets, it is component. It is code of our component. Component, and this is outside of curly brackets. What is separately code, what means that we can, that it is accessed by import. Export, it means can be export. Login component can be exported. And of course, when we somewhere need that component, we use import keyword. And we can import that in other component if we need it. Okay, back up. It is object equal function, arrow function. Arrow function, there is no name. It is only here parenthesis for parameters, and equal, and this greater sign of greater, it is like arrow. It is name arrow because it is instead of keyword function. Instead of that, we have arrow arrow here, and in curly brackets is body. But name is login. Name is login. Name is a string. It is a reference. Login is a reference in memory and point to component, reference of component in memory. And we can call it variable, we can call it object. It is declaration, it is declaration of variable login. But it is object, it is equal arrow function. And you see, object equal function, object equal function. That situation and can be contrary, function equal object, and it is fundamental of functional programming, and it is very, very confused in beginning was for me. But now you see, I cannot hurry in my spoke, and I have not pain in my voice how to explain object equal function. It is, we see that here. We see that here. Why it is like that? Because we will see when we call a function, we can call it by reference login. And because initial rendering, if initial rendering see name of function and parentheses, open close, will immediately call that function. But when initial rendering see a name reference without parentheses, it will not execute that function. And okay, it is practice. I have almost, maybe I don't see concretely, but about it is more than 2 years I learned React. I have practice. Here is a original, very useful actual e-commerce in 2 parts, e-retail public, e-retail admin. And later we will see how connect both, because both cooperate with database, MySQL database, and both have Express backend. But now it is 2 separate application. Now on the screen is public, and this login we use here for customer and admin can be lodged only like example, but in practice, in production, admin, who is admin, it would be decided in admin part of this application. Okay, object login equal function. Arrow function, there is no name. Login is name of this function. It is component. Login goes in outlet. It means that login component is not coded in app.js, fundamental component, but it is coded in index, in root. There is a root, and every root would be visible in outlet. Can we see that? Can we see that it is app.js? And App.js, here is JS6, what we see on the screen, in the React in user interface. But this is interesting. Outlet. Outlet component, React component, what is built in, we must import it. Import outlet, you look at outlet import from React router DOM. Router is separate application. Redux is separate application. React is separate application. All three application develop Meta company, parents of Facebook, and there is three teams, but all that is open code. Open code, three library, router, React, JavaScript library, router, React, and Redux. Three open software, three open library, and three teams from Meta develop that three application outlets. And that outlet, when you look at here, we have a header, we have department list. It is top wide by screen, and this is header, and inside of that div header we have departments list. After that we have sidebar. Look at a sidebar div. That in sidebar can be departments detail, can be category list, and main, it is where would be login and all from index. Here is that outlet. Instead of that outlet would be some component. Who decided about it? Decided about it router, what we coded in router. Look at that router. Router is in index.js. Look at how many router. It is very straightforward for coding. And login, see, root, login. When address path equal login, when address would be login, that root with that path, in outlet would be visible element login. Here it is. Okay, let's get see. Or for other also, you see, depending of address, we decided here in root what component would be visible in outlet position. Article symbol would be visible, when in address would be article ID, concretely article. Okay, we can see that. Mobile, here it is. Okay, I can click in this. It is one article. You see address, article, through number of ID article, and here it is one article. But now when I click in login, here it is that outlet position. It is aside, position aside. It is header, department is in header, and this is aside, and here is this part is outlet. And now login, here we see login. You see, here it is login. Okay, I enjoy repeat a little. All this explained in some video, but I will repeat and repeat a lot of, because I like React, I enjoy React, and I know a lot of about React, and I like explain my exploration of React. Okay, it is login. It is login back to code. Back to code. No, no. Okay, it is. Login is in components folder. Feature components here. It is components login.js. Here it is. Okay, it is all about, in parts, it is a story about, oh, I want that it would be over story, lot of time. Object equal arrow function, equal function. And in that curly brackets, we declare. At first, we declare state. Declare state. And this is the structured assignment. The structured assignment. For example, uh, like beginner, we think it is very strange be to me, because I work with JavaScript vanilla when born it is in starting first JavaScript I coded in it was vanilla, and a long time I use it. Only advanced was Ajax, was jQuery. jQuery until some months ago, there is 50% of web. But now it is explosive. In explosion, it would be disappear, and React and others frames, JavaScript library frames would be take more and more market. I said just a moment ago, framework, so library framework. Officially, React is library. Why? Because router is library, because Redux is library. But if it is together one application, like some other, it would be framework. It is all knowledge about that. And why Meta don't connect it? Why create three teams and three softwares, three libraries? Why don't create one library? Because every library can be usable separate, and somebody in other frame, in other software, can take Redux for global manager, can take router for router, and it is that, and there is a principle solid. It is acronym solid, and first principle is actual in my application and all application. That first is most useful, most often. Separation by concern. Separation by concern. And Meta separate router for coding router, separate React for coding user interface, and separate Redux for coding global state manager. All that happen, that it is all that is reason all about React, what you learn. is the reason that people like more React than others library or frameworks. All that separation by concerns is excellent because when it go together, you cannot use another library, and when you connect together, you have always some coding for connection of them, and software begin start to be loaded and robust, more robust. Okay, and now the structured assignment. The structured assignment, when you coded it, you ask yourself, I ask myself, how I know what is in user state? How I know that email, set email exists in user state? But here, in the same user state, exists password and set password. It is email, set email, coming from user state. User state equal that email and set mail. User state, same user state equal password, set password. Error, set error. Is loading, set loading. This is in parentheses. User state in parentheses is initial value. Initial value. Empty for email, empty password, empty set error, and empty error, and empty not empty but false is loading. What is it here? You decided this. You need state email because it would be one input in form. It is value what we enter in that input for email. And the second input would be for entering password to input in form. And you call like you want it. You need to state. Every form, there is a state input and text area, etc. Radio button, etc. element. Form, there is a local state. It is state of form. Concretely here we have a input, and we call that state email. We type email, we call it email. Here it is. Here we type email. Bin, con, bin. Here it is. Here it is email. Here it is password. But it is state. Value of that state is bin monkey bin.com. Value of password is bin. And now when I put login, I go to code what happened then. Okay, and we know we need email. We named it email. And every state, there is a function. Set email, set state. You see, use state is function, email is a state, and set state. Set state is function what changes email, what changes state. Function changes state. State is variable. And never before I changed variable with some function. I change variable equal value, and it was declaration of variable and declaration and initialization. Initialization is right side. It is assignment, right side email. It was like I coded in all programs what I know, learn, use. But now I declare, it is a constant keyword for declaration, constant array, here it is array, with the two members. This is state, variable email, and second member is set email, function. First email, set email. State, function, set email, function. What will change that email? It is because immutable way. It is because we can write explicit changes, but IMIR library behind use copy and copy changes, copy of state. Here, use state is a function code of that use state. It is hook, because every hook coming with use. Hooks are helper function. Helper function, what help, what make possible use functional component instead of a class component, which is a little more coding and little confusing. And functional component is excellent for functional programming. Okay, use state is a program. Here it is hook, use state. It is function. You look at the name, use state, and every hook begin with use. And every hook is helper function. And every hook is because possibility working in functional component and not in class component. And this is initial value. Use state is code there is a backend code, use state, what is not interesting for us. And now, when we create email and set use state changes email set by this function set email, changes password by this function set password, and it is immutable kind of changes that every state, local here, local. Use state also cooperate with the React virtual part. I talk about that a lot of, but again, not this moment. And every changes use state, every changes of password, and we see that set password changes password, set email changes email. In every of that moment, use state activate a re-rendering component. But don't re-render it component when we change email and we jump in password, re-render it. No, waiting, set use state, create batch of these changes, changing email, changing password. And when we, and all this is created like that, is loading all that state, changes with set is loading, error changes with set error. All that changes would waiting for complete that we enter email password is loading, but error coming automatically if there is an error. All that changes waiting one another, use state collect them in batch, and together changes all that state and one re-rendering, and ordered one re-rendering of component, one re-rendering of component. A rendering component is a condition for what is the reason for a rendering component? Reason is changes state of component. Here we have a 4 state in this component. I must look it down. There is this is state, this is object, this is again declare variable response equal right side is a function and this keyword, etc. Okay, here is all that, for example, here we declare object constant dispatch, but that dispatch is function. It is also destructured assignment. We need dispatch. We can call it x, y, z, but we call dispatch because that function dispatch assigning by use dispatch, that function, it is function. We use it like function dispatch with parameter. We will see later. Also, use navigate. We declare navigate object, but it would be function, and equal use navigate. And it is hook. It is hook. Code of that is a background, not important for us, but we know what happened here. We declared dispatch variable object, but it is function. And how we declare? We declare by destructured assignment, right side, here is hook use dispatch. And there is a code what will that code go in this dispatch function and give possibility, give functionality, this dispatch functionality that can dispatch action to Redux, to store, to reducer. Also, this function navigate. Okay, and look at what we have. Destructured. Here is a okay. Understand that name. Destructured. Destructured something like one part go in many parts. This assignment uses state, assign right side. Assign value is always right side of equation in declaration process. Here we declare practically two. It is state and it is function for changing that state. But look at here, it is two members, it is two variable, because when we see how it is written, we don't, it is variable for us. Email, set mail, it is two variable. And created it in array, we created two variable, and value, what value we give that array, email, set mail, we give value user state. And it is like that. Here we give value use dispatch. And again, important that we here declare variable and function. Of course, it is without parentheses. Name of function, common practice, common experience, my common experience to see function, I see name of function and parentheses, like this. Like this. Now here, when I see this text, it is variable for me, but variable equal function, function equal variable. And thanks to use state, this is function, but we can write it like without parentheses, like every variable. Okay. Created from left, we need here password and set password. And this is declaration, two variable, email, set email. Second variable is function. We declare it and instantiate. What is value? Value instantiation means give a value. Here it is. Right side, always right side, give a value. What value? Empty. Email is empty. There is nothing in that variable email. It is declaration and instantiation. Also password, declare name, we give name that variable password. And the initial state is empty, nothing. Error, initial state is empty. And is loading, initial state is false. Is loading, error will come from system. If there is an error in process, we receive it automatically and see it on the screen. And the error coming, error would be something, some error, set error changes this error from nothing, from empty space in text of this error, and we will see that text. We can see that in console log. We can see it in the screen. It depends how we coding. Is loading here is flag. Flag means up down. You know, with flag. Flag is signalization. It is loading red and green lighting. False, it would be red. Now, false, it is logical. It is loading is bit value, false or true, 1 or 0. And initial value is false, it is red. And for what we use variable flag? When we want to stop traffic in one part of a working street, working on the street, what we give a red light in front from both sides, red, and also here it is. But when traffic is free, we can go. Its loading will be true, would be green, would be true. But when we need stop traffic, we would be false, green stuff. And here, regulate traffic. When we type email, when we type password, and when we push button login, that moment, no, we cannot again push login. Again and again. We cannot 3 times push loading, 4 times push loading, 2 times. No. When we push login, here it is, this login here. When I push login, that moment is loading, is is loading red. Must stop traffic. But here is contrary. When is loading means that that our email and that our password go to server, to backend, to tank, and it is asynchronous process. And at this moment, we waiting result of that. That period, traffic must be stopped. No one can click on login button. And I said wrong. Is loading is saying that stop is loading. This moment is loading. Loading in process, stop. And it means that is loading is true, it means stop traffic. Nobody can put on button login second time, third time. Only after process finished, this asynchronous process finished, okay, if finished okay, we have after that empty input, and we can type new input and put on click on button. Is loading means one. If true or one, it means stop click on button. If you click, it would not be accepted by software. Okay, is loading. Because of that is false. Initial value is false. It means that I can put on that. It is because Mr. Bean is welcome. Mr. Bean is login and okay. I can put is false. Log out. Now I can put, but is enter this field. I can put, but enter this field. I can go ahead with any fields empty, but I can put login a lot of time. Look at a lot of time. But when I write Bean, and here Bean, when I now put login, look at I try first click, a lot of time on login. Look at it is impossible that I have speed fast with my finger as a speed of sunlight in our computer. And when I put in login, it is a speed, it is electricity speed of sunlight, and I cannot so fast click. But never mind. You see, my click nothing. There is no effect in this. Welcome to dashboard. Welcome to Mr. Bean. And after finished process of welcome, I can use button click. Here it is. It's loading. Always in every form we use something like that. Here is interesting that is loading. In some coding we create separate logic, but here we created logic like this. Disable, there is a disable it is not properties input HTML. There is here is a disable is loading. Must be it means that that input we cannot use input if is loading is one, is loading is true input. And also here this is attribute, disable attribute. It is all attribute. Every HTML element there is attribute, but a React element there is properties, short props. And this attribute, if this attribute disable equal is loading, it means true. When we in curly brackets is loading, it is one. If exist, one exists. If zero, it is not exist. Disable input, and here disable input of password, and submit also disable. It is a logic condition for use element of form. It is flag. It is flag is loading, variable is loading function here. And we will see down. Here we declared dispatch, declared navigate from use dispatch, hook function use navigate. Something when I a lot of talking about the structure, about that. I must say that it is declarative programming. Declarative, contrary, imperative. Declarative programming means as less as possible coding. And you see that example. As less as possible coding. And for that, there is a use state, what some code in background, not interesting for us. We must set name of email, function set email, it's all. But all that construction, declaration, the structure assignment, use state, all that construction would be solved, would be executed in background, existing background. It is minimum coding, declarative, and it is confused. Because of that, we was confused. I was a lot of confused, very, very confused, because when I see that, I don't see a context. There is no context here in imperative and in before I programmed from blank scratch page from zero and created all variable, declare all the function, object, there is a variable members or function method, all it declared, and put in action, communicate object between object, call object, and call some function inside that object. That function can be public, can be private, etc. But here, nothing of that. Nothing of that. Email, set email in square braces, use state, what is it? It is that. All lot of background code instead of us. Nothing boilerplate. No boilerplate. And it is excellent when you understand what happened here. And now you understand declarative programming. Only what we must type, and we must type name of variable, and this function what will change that state email. Okay, dispatch, navigate, and now is constant handle login. Because I spoke very, very detailed until now, and this video is very, very long, I will stop here with this video. And tomorrow, I hope I continue this explanation of logic.js in detail. Okay, thank you for watching this video.